It's 7:30. Good morning, I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. Police have charged a 31-year-old Aberglasslyn man with the murder of his 12-year-old stepdaughter. The girl was discovered in her bedroom at her Red Gum Circuit home in the early hours of yesterday morning by a family member. A crime scene was established, and shortly after, the man was located in the family car at Rutherford. Detective Superintendent Craig Jackson says help is always available to those experiencing domestic violence.
No matter how you look at this is nothing short of a tragedy. And the message I will put out there to the community is, if you are experiencing domestic violence, if you know of someone who is experiencing domestic violence, then contact your local police.
Meanwhile, the death has prompted Maitland MP Jenny Aitchison to renew calls for the state government to invest more money into tackling domestic violence. She says the Queensland government has put $31 million into addressing the issue in the wake of recent incidents in the Sunshine State. The federal government is reportedly about to make a $100 million funding announcement today to help those impacted by family violence. A fire which destroyed a caravan and annex at Heatherbrae overnight is being treated as suspicious. Fire crews from Taro, Raymond Terrace and the Rural Fire Service were called to the Pacific Gardens Caravan Park just after 1:30 to find the 6-metre aluminium caravan and annex engulfed in flames. Newcastle Fire Command says no one was in the caravan at the time, and forensic police are combing through the burnt-out remains to determine how the fire started. The Newcastle Lord Mayor is being accused of reneging on a deal to support the heavy rail line. Greens councillor Therese Doyle claims she was urged to vote for light rail services ahead of this week's council meeting by New Italian Elms, who then promised to support the councillors' calls for heavy rail to stay in a separate motion. However, Councillor Doyle says when the idea was addressed, it was dismissed as out of order by the Lord Mayor before the meeting was closed. New Italian Elms has refuted the claims. University of Newcastle researchers Professor Michael Nilsson and Professor Nicholas Talley have been honoured for their contributions to science with appointments to high-level advisory committees. The two researchers will sit on the Health Translation Advisory Committee and the Research Committee, respectively, overseeing a range of health and science matters. Professor Michael Nilsson says they'll be joined by a number of fellow researchers from across the country.
It's senior researchers and clinicians from all over Australia that have been appointed to provide advice to the CEO of NHMRC and to the Health Minister around translational research and how to embed research into healthcare.
All through the month of September, Kurri Kurri has been unveiling new murals which celebrate the history of the town and the residents who designed them. New entries for this month include the town entrance mural and the Kurri Kurri police station mural. Towns with Heart Community Project Manager Leslie Morris says the station mural is filled with local flair.
The Kurri Kurri police station mural is based on a photograph a local family had of their father, who was the longest serving Kurri Kurri police officer. His name was Claude Dimmick and he served for 33 years. So he used that photograph as the basis for the mural in sepia colours, and it's on the side of the police station and it reflects the photograph.
Sport, thanks to our sponsor Warners Bay Sports Club.
Rugby fans are in for a treat with the National Rugby Championship between the New South Wales Country Eagles and Queensland Country kicking off at Newcastle's No. 2 Sports Ground tonight. The Newcastle Barbarians will take on the New South Wales Country Eagles development squad in a curtain raiser to the game. The Newcastle Jets are expected to confirm the signing of the final player on their playing roster for the upcoming A-League season today. 30-year-old Serbian forward Milos Trifinovic has completed a medical assessment with just the formal clearance paperwork standing in the way of him lining up for the Jets in their first match of the season against Wellington on October 11. And the Newcastle District Cricket Association will get tough on players being unavailable for representative duty this summer in a bid to avoid a repeat of the Mark Dries affair. The Toronto Workers Club was unsuccessful in its protest against Dries playing for Hamilton Wickham in a Tom Locker Cup game on the same weekend as the New South Wales Country Championships in Ballina last season. Players will now be required to advise if they're unavailable for rep cricket before the season starts on October 3. To NURFM News Time, 26 to 8.